So Sonic Dream Team sounds like it's going to be the next Sonic Adventure, the next Sonic Adventure 2, the next Mario 64. These journalists are going crazy about Sonic Dream Team, and we need to talk about this. Now, I know a lot of people are mixed on the idea of Sonic Dream Team because it is coming to Apple Arcade exclusively, so that has a lot of people feeling kind of down on the state of the game because it inherently won't be able to be played by a lot of people. At least for right now, it could totally come to Steam. That's not out of the picture whatsoever. But that aside, a lot of critics have gotten their hands on the game, and their hands-on previews were extremely positive and reminiscent of the older Sonic games a lot of us love, like the Sonic Adventure games. They were using so many buzzwords saying like a return to the adventure formula, or this game is like Sonic Adventure mixed with Mario 64. This is also some pretty high praise for a mobile game developed by Sega Hardlight, who usually makes endless runners, and this is a big upgrade from an endless runner to a full-on game through Apple Arcade, no microtransactions, full story, voice acting, complete levels, and everything. It's a great package. Again, Apple Arcade, but we're gonna ignore that for this video because I feel like harping on that is just not the point of what we're talking about here. Can this mobile game live up to the hype of being compared to Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure? Can this game live up to the hype? I'm gonna give my thoughts whether I think this can or cannot. But there needs to be several criteria and factors of what makes a good Sonic game like that in the first place. Sonic Dream Team is going to need to check all these boxes. So what are the boxes that it needs to check? First and absolutely foremost, the gameplay has to be fun and kinetic and have a flow state to it. The best kind of Sonic games with a boost have a flow state. By a flow state, I mean chaining actions together to keep your momentum and movement going so it never feels like you're slowing down or stopping. The only reason you should probably be slowing down or stopping in this game is if you're playing a different character like Knuckles or Rouge, who have to treasure hunt in this game for keys. By the way, which that is not confirmed that those characters specifically have to do it. I'm pretty sure you can switch them on the fly. But I have a feeling they're going to make some level design tailored for each of the characters that are going to kind of make you use their abilities. And even still, the idea of a flow state is going to change depending on the character archetype. In Sonic Adventure 2, Knuckles even has his own flow state separate from Sonic, and being fast in one of those stages is something completely different than a speed stage. But you can still do all gameplay styles in the adventure games very fast. That's right, even Big the Cat, there's some strategy to that. And at least in Sonic Adventure 2, you're rewarded for actually playing some of these levels faster with an A rank. This game may or may not have rankings depending on the missions, because I know one of the missions is getting to the end of the level and collecting the keys and whatnot. So depending on those mission types, there probably could be different ranking per mission. Regardless, that ties into the flow state and what I think a Sonic game needs to have. Every single one of them needs a flow state. It only improves the skill level and ceiling of the game. Now, this is a mobile game, to be fair, so a lot of people are going to be playing this game with touch controls, but Apple Arcade games are made with controllers in mind, and I'm sure all the devs testing this game are probably mostly playing with a controller and then testing with touchscreen controls to make sure that works as well. So personally, there wouldn't be any surprise there. But with that in mind, it is possible that the control scheme of the game could possibly be simple due to the game being a phone game. Based on the gameplay snippets in the trailer, we can tell there is full-on movement in this game. It's not auto-running, and it actually looks like it just has complete 360 movement. And it isn't like touchscreen isn't capable of replicating this. A on-screen joystick is very simple replicating 360 movement. It's more about the tactile feeling, if anything, when it comes to touchscreen, and not necessarily being limited in terms of buttons and movement. But despite those things, I think this game can achieve a flow state. The second biggest thing that a Sonic game needs to be a successful Sonic game that Dream Team needs to achieve is the world design and level design hitting. And at least aesthetically, I'm not gonna lie, it hits quite a lot. We haven't seen a colorful looking Sonic game that has looked original in a while. I've seen nothing so far that strongly resembles anything from the past. Yeah, there's Eggman Land-ish type stuff in this game through his dreams or whatever, but it doesn't look like actual Eggman Land. It's just reminiscent rather than something that kind of is a clone. So yeah, so far aesthetically, I think they got it in the bag. Level design is something we have yet to really experience, but based on hands-on previews, people really seem to enjoy running through the levels. They look a lot bigger and open-ended because there's going to be multiple missions in a world or level, and I think that will make it a lot more interesting. There'll probably be a whole lot of pathways to get to point A to point B in those objective missions at least, but then there's probably going to be a bunch of other pathways that are set for other missions such as getting the keys. And if I'm being honest, this kind of reminds me of a more refined version of Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers is a big open world, of course, and there's multiple zones, and they're a lot bigger. This is kind of like that, but on a smaller scale. I would call it a mini open zone in a way. They're more like levels, of course, but they look a lot bigger and open-ended to house multiple objectives. I think that's a genius way of making some levels, but time will tell when it comes to the level design if it's actually going to hit or not. But I have a pretty great feeling that Sonic Dream Team level design is going to hit. Now, something I am worried about is the game being short, but that's nothing new to Sonic games. Sonic 3 is short, Sonic Generations is short, Sonic Colors is also very short. It's nothing new. I would prefer the game to have some meat to it, but if it's short and fun and sweet and the levels are replayable, I think it's not really that big of a deal. And last but not least is the cool factor. Will this game have the cool factor that makes Sonic cool? Maybe, I'm not sure. It does have voice acting and full out cutscenes, and I'm hoping that they're actually nice and they look cool and make Sonic feel cool. I feel like it's very part of the fun of Sonic games is Sonic being cool because it makes you feel cool when you're controlling him and just zooming through the levels and doing cool stuff. A lot of people that have had hands-on previews have said that this game is somewhat also like a Tony Hawk game. It's almost like a skate park going off of the ramps and whatnot, and that sounds pretty exciting. Hopefully there's tricks and whatnot. But if Sonic Dream Team manages to check all of these boxes and more for being a mobile game, I think, yeah, this game can go toe-to-toe with some of the mainline Sonic games. If I'm being honest, a lot of these mainline Sonic games are not big budget, are not that far out there, and mobile gaming in some ways has surpassed a lot of those older games and look better on mobile. If we ported Sonic Generations to mobile phones right now, it would look better, or if not the same. So Dream Team definitely has the capacity to be as big as Sonic Generations, but on your phone. So yeah, I think this game can definitely go toe to toe if I'm able to buy Resident Evil 4 on my iPhone. Now I know there's somewhat of a caveat to that because Resident Evil 4 is only for iPhone 15 Pro, but regardless, we're going that way in general. The next set of phones are not probably going to require pros to play games like that. But regardless, the point still stands. This game can definitely throw its hat in the ring, and it may knock out some mainline games, from being honest. I can see this easily boxing Sonic Lost World easily and overtaking that game, as well as a few other Sonic games, especially Forces as well. I think those are like really easy pickings, and this game can just easily wash them. So yeah, in a way, this game is going to go head to head with mainline Sonic games and be better than some of them likely. Now, Frontiers, we'll probably have to see about that. But yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on Sonic Dream Team basically being a mainline game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And like always, I'll see you in the next one.
Well, whatever happens, happens.